I watch a lot of reality TV shows. So one of the shows that I watch is called Bell Collective. And the girl, I think her name is Latrice, has goddess length hair. She started a hair care line, and it's not called goddess length. It's called Essential Beauty.
Yeah, because it's different.
Because it's different. And it's different lanes, even though they're related. Even having hair or buying hair and taking care of hair, it seems related. It's two different businesses. What I used to do that all the time to people.
That was the family voice message on the answer machine. I picked up the phone and said, "What's that?" Leave a message.
Always looking for things to say. I don't know. I never know how to intro these things. Like, some people are like, "Hey world." I tried that on YouTube.
Hey world.
And I don't really know how I feel about it.
It's your girl.
But yeah, I don't know. So I'm just going to mix it up every week. We're just going to see what goes, what flows, what comes.
Yeah, I like doing something new every episode.
Yeah, I think it's cool. So
next week is Konnichiwa.
We'll do it all around the world. Hello.
Yeah, what's up to the world?
So this is episode 4 of Just Cop, the e-commerce show.
Yeah.
I've been trying to be better at saying show and not just podcast, because Carlos Miller said you don't want to box yourself and call it just a podcast. You want to call it a show, just in case it doesn't limit you or what you can do and what you can be. So I'm trying to get better at saying show. But anywho, welcome to Just Cop. It is an e-commerce show. We are Lauren. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kevin.
And we're the owners of July 5. It's an e-commerce agency designed for Black e-commerce businesses. So all your digital needs is what we are here to help you with. Whether that's website, whether that's branding, whether that's marketing strategy, whatever that is, you have a cool idea and you need to, sort it out with somebody, get some validity, help to understand if this idea is a valuable or viable idea. We are your people. And so this show, see, I was about to say it again. This show is a show where we kind of just get together and give our opinions about stuff. We try to teach you a little bit as we are learning too. This is not a podcast of like perfectionist experts who know everything. It's just us telling you what we see in our business, what we know, and maybe you can apply it to you. And so we usually talk about we have a tech word of the week, which is so that you can kind of be up on lingo, or just know words like that pertain to your business, so that you can, talk the talk. Because I think that's really important.
That's important. Especially when you're meeting folks.
Right, exactly. And so we're also going to throw some like tech lingo-y words in there as time goes, so that people are familiar with it. I know that when I first got into the business, people would say stuff all the time, and I wouldn't know necessarily what they were talking about until I had to like catch a context clue. So I don't want everybody else to have to do that. So we're going to share our knowledge of what we think the lingo word means. Whether we're right or wrong, that's just our interpretation of it. And then we do our topic where we just talk about something briefly pertaining to like your business, how it could be better, things to think about, all those things. And we do our Just Cop, which is us highlighting a Black-owned business that we just copped from, that we're really excited to share with you. And we hope that you go out and you support too. So, drum roll. Word of the week. I really gotta find how to do an echo. Like, I'm sure it's easy, but
edit that.
Yeah. So the word of the week is upselling. Do you know what upselling is?
Nah, I do now.
Upselling
is like a technique to make somebody buy your more expensive product.
So it says, it's a technique to convince a customer to buy something more expensive, an upgraded version of what's been purchased. or what's being purchased. So it's like if you worked at a Foot Locker or a Champs or something, and you go to check out your sneakers, and they're like, "Oh, do you want these 3 pair of socks that come with it?" And you kind of get like a discount for buying the socks come at a discount, and you buy it with your purchase, and you're like, "Oh, I got 3 new pairs of socks and a new pair of shoes."
Fresh sneaks. Right. You can't have dingy socks on your fresh Air Ones.
Right. Exactly. So it's just like the process. Or when you go to the store and you're in line waiting to check out or whatever, usually they have like all these little small versions of things that you could just like easily pick up and buy. So it just makes like whatever you were about to purchase, now your purchase went up. You spent more money because that thing was like available to you. So you can also do that when you're in an e-commerce business. That is a way, like when people are checking out, you can suggest to them things kind of like bundling. But you can suggest to them like, hey, oh, you know another good example of this?
What?
The movie theater.
Oh, yeah.
Popcorn. Popcorn. Actually, I just realized what I described earlier was bundling. Popcorn at the movie theater is the example here.
Right, because you can upgrade your size for just a quarter more or just 50 cents more.
And then you're like, why have a medium at $5 when I can have a large at $5.25?
Yeah, right.
So that's upselling. Now I'm in it. So I had the wrong thing before.
Yeah,
and that
they do the movie theater does a great job at it.
Right, because they really don't want to sell you the middle
and the
thing.
Sizes aren't even that much different. They're all large. But it's like the largest one.
The small drink is definitely a large.
Yeah.
A large drink at a movie theater is like it's like for beasts. Champions. I don't know how people drink all of that. But yeah, so a better example of this is when you go to the movie theater, you buying your stuff, and they tell you could do an upgrade for just 50 cents. So you could do this in your e-commerce business on the site in the checkout process, and say to somebody like, hey, if here's a 14 ounce, but the 20 ounce is only, $2 more. So you make it more appealing for them to buy the upsell.
It makes sense to buy the upsell.
It makes sense to buy the upsell. So that's what upselling is. Think about maybe, if you have anything that you upsell, if you have size variations, if you have different price points for items, but they're like very, very similar, how you can upsell.
Even a service where you can add something to a service that is not a lot for you, but seems more appealing to your customer for a little bit more money.
True. But this is e-commerce, so we're talking products.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to get into our tech news. So I have it written down in my my phone this week because I wanted to upgrade the things that we were going to talk about.
So you talked about me about having my papers, but the papers is handy.
The papers are handy, but it just looks real like this is a technology podcast and you're reading off of papers.
Papers is technology.
I mean, I guess the printing process was once considered newfangled technology. Okay, you can have your papers and do what you want with them. But so the first thing I want to talk about is Slack has a new DM feature. So it says this is under Slack Connect. So I guess they're trying to like pull out just a brand new feature, and then DM is like a sub feature within the feature. And so it allows you to DM anyone in any other organization. They rolled the feature back though after people kind of reached out to them and said that people may use this feature for like harassment, because the invitation email could say anything. You could personalize it. It could say anything. So people were saying like it could be used for harassment or anything else. And so Slack rolled it back and said, okay, you can't personalize it. The invitation says the same thing for everybody, but you can still do it. What do you think about Slack having DM?
I think is great.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because it's a lot. I got so many different organizations that I'm a part of,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like there's so many different DMs just in different organizations. It'd be so much easier if I could just send a DM without joining.
Oh, so you're saying like sending a DM. So like, say you're in our July 5 Slack, and you want to send a DM in like another Slack.
Right.
You can't do that.
And even without even joining it, because I don't want all the general updates, and I don't want to be a part of the community. I just want to talk to whoever it is I want to talk to.
Right.
And so I think that's probably why they made that feature. I think it's a great idea because, Slack, just like, I guess emails and Slack is like the stuff gets lost in it because it's just so many messages.
So many channels. Yeah. I guess I didn't think about that. For me, I just felt like it was kind of unnecessary. It's like, nobody asked for this.
Somebody did.
But I guess somebody did. Maybe somebody who was managing like 10 different Slacks. I can see your point. Again, I didn't even think about that when I was thinking about Slack and DM. I just thought, like, why would I want to message anybody from any other organization using Slack? But, I mean, I'm not mad at it. Will I use it? Probably not.
I might use it. But I can't think of anybody that's a part of an organization that I'm not a part of that I want to Slack yet.
So I think that's where I'm confused too, because it's like, are you slacking people that have no Slack?
No, they obviously have Slack.
So, but you're slacking people who have a Slack, but y'all aren't in the same Slack organization.
Right.
Okay, so instead of having to add them to maybe your organizational Slack, you could just, oh, you got Slack, I got Slack, I got your email address, I can Slack you.
Right.
I guess I can reconsider. I think you might be right on this one. I'm like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. It's convenient. I don't know when I will use it because it's like the time will have to come where I need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's convenient when you're working on projects with organizations that use Slack but don't allow them to join like other Slacks. So let's say I'm gonna make up a company. The Acme company, right, is like a client. And they have all these strict like protocols and things like that. And so when I try to get them to join our Slack, like the security factor of it all is kind of like no, or that it doesn't get approved, or something like that. But
you can still DM somebody.
I can still DM somebody, or I can DM multiple people at a time because you can do that in Slack, and kind of make up your own channel in DM, like your own makeshift channel in DM. Right. Oh, well, that's useful.
Yeah.
That's useful. At first, I saw people on Twitter who were just like, nobody asked for this. I didn't need this.
Do you know how Twitter gets?
Ugh, Twitter. Some days I love it. Some days I'm off it. Twitter is a wild place.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess Slack DM is a okay.
You got our stamp.
Maybe. We'll see. Come back for my update in like 3 months. So the third one was interesting. The second. Okay. You're right.
Yeah.
Prince Harry gets a job as a tech exec for a mental health startup. Why did you ooh?
Because it's just like, how did he get that job?
Okay. It said they noted his military experience, mental health, and environmental advocacy as qualifiers for this role. He will intro product strategy as well as charitable donation contribution strategies and advocate publicly on topics.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I got a lot of opinions. The first thing that came to my mind is like, man, if you are white and rich, it's like you can tell your kid, you can be anything you want to be, Johnny. And then, like, Johnny can. Because he don't have to have no experience. He don't have to have no experience. He doesn't have to go to college. He don't need a master's degree.
Johnny don't need nothing but his whiteness and walk in the door.
Johnny serves in the military. That gives him carte
I
blanche.
don't know. We don't. Well, that was the overseas military. We don't treat military vets over here well.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to do better. But continue.
It's just like, why is he qualified for that job? What are the qualifiers? Because he had military background and is an advocate for mental health.
It makes me think of one of our favorite movies is what's the joint with Romany Malco? Tijuana Jackson.
Oh my man.
He was like
he had credentials.
He had credentials.
Yeah.
And that
Shout out to Tijuana.
If you've never seen that movie, you have to. But with Prince Harry, I think the part to me is like, okay, I know he needs a job because he said the only money that he has is the money that his mom left him. I don't know how much
That's
is.
probably
right?
a lot of money. What are you talking about?
That could have accrued to be a lot of money by now, especially if they were like in a trust and it was invested and all of that stuff, right? So he needs a job. And I think that doing advocacy and charitable, like anything philanthropic, I think could be good because that's what the monarchy does.
Right.
Or that's what they're kind of like hired to do from the UK is like
what's
just
his job
advocate,
title?
right? He's, I think, like the chief of technology.
Oh, okay.
So, but the thing that got me was the product strategy. And I'm like, I wonder what he did in the military because, like, what gives him the background to, like, and again, people just make, at that top level decisions, right? People are top level. People are just making, like, really high level decisions. It's down to the smaller people down the chain to do the work.
Yeah, I understand.
So it's like, I don't expect him to do the work. But was there another more qualified person?
Sure there was.
That had got, like you said, that got their master's degree in mental health, that has put in all the hours to like become licensed or all these things, and then also has this technology piece that they could have like wrapped together to be. I think, you know, for one, it's like a position move of they get free publicity because they have him as
the face.
The face, right?
Yeah.
We know now. Whenever he starts working there, we'll know the company that he works for. Like, it will be in the news. It will be in the headlines.
Facts.
So that was probably like, they're probably like, scrap the marketing budget. We'll put that into his salary so that we can have him, and then they could take pictures of him outside of our offices, like when he's coming out of work.
Put him on the website.
Put him on the website. You know, do all of that stuff. Prince Harry's here. Again, I don't hate it.
I'm not hating on Prince Harry neither. Good for him.
Yeah, it's like good for him. He has a job to support his family. That's another good for him. I think the only thing that I would feel like kind of is about is just like people who spend their whole lives working. And I mean, life's not fair. We see it happen every day. Where people get jobs that they're not qualified for. Especially straight white men. But I don't know. I don't know how I really feel about it.
I don't either. I still had to process it, but that just when you said Prince Harry and Chief of Technology, I just thought of President 45's cabinet. And he was just like, yeah, I'm going to put these people together.
Yeah, seems very hodgepodge. But, again, when it comes to charitable donations and advocacy, he's got it down. Like, that's what his whole life has been about.
Right.
So, I'm like, more power to you. You are qualified. The product strategy part, I'm kind of like, I don't know. But I don't know what kind of products a mental health organization is putting out anyway. Sometimes products is just like the name of like packages of services.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe he's coming from that end because he's seen so many things. So maybe he could put together like a product servicey kind of thing. I don't know, but congratulations to him. Glad he got a job. I'm glad they're out of Tyler Perry's house. So.
Yeah, shout out to Tyler Perry for letting him live there.
I guess. I mean, would Tyler Perry have done it for... Okay,
me?
We're not even going. We're not even go down that rabbit hole because you and I both know.
Next event.
Right. Next event. So, and the last one, YouTube is creating a feature to compete, with TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's called Shorts. I don't know why that's funny to me.
Denim shorts.
It wants to allow you to shoot video on your mobile phone, string clips together, add music, and so on. It's the exact same thing as TikTok, just on YouTube.
On the YouTube, which is the bigger platform. Maybe.
Which is like, TikTok reminds me of Vine. Just way more features now that you gotta do. Like, you gotta do full-on video productions now.
There's a lot more people on, what's it called, TikTok?
Oh, so many people on TikTok.
Yeah.
I think the pandemic, like, really shot TikTok to the moon. I think the thing that's going to be helpful for YouTube is that YouTube has a system where they can easily monetize.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok is trying.
Right.
They have like a creator fund where they, you know, give funds to people who post and get a lot of views and stuff like that. But they haven't gotten like a system that across the board, like YouTube, if you making more than 4K views or you have more than 1,000 subscribers, now you can monetize. They haven't been able to do that yet.
Right.
So I don't know though if the user experience for Shorts is trash. I don't see people using it. I see people just keep doing TikTok. Mm-hmm. But I can see if the user experience, everything, the interface, all that stuff is like seamlessly amazing. I can see a lot of people, especially like the creators, jumping ship and going to YouTube because now they're going to get like, right, paid. Chang, get money over here. That's how it would be. And I read an article lately about how, you know, social media platforms are competing. And the girl who was a creator on the platform was like, we go where whoever pays the highest. Right. And so right now that would be YouTube. So
people get paid on YouTube.
I'm like, YouTube was kind of smart. At first I'm kind of like, but this is also another clear example of like when you have an idea and there's other organizations that are bigger than you, right? How can you differentiate yourself so that they can't just put it out and then crush you? Mm-hmm. Because TikTok is the number one. It has the number one downloads.
Right, it's growing
across the world.
Social media
for apps, right? So that makes it like a gold mine. But if they can't like find ways to monetize it and make people want to stay on the platform, they can get easily crushed by YouTube.
That's the truth.
Because YouTube is a monster and it's been around for
a long time.
I have old Wu-Tang videos on YouTube.
Started this internet stuff. I definitely have dancing videos on YouTube from middle school. Probably.
Now, I've never been able to find them.
I don't even know what to search. They're there. Somebody might have watched one.
I've never been able to find them, but they're there. They're definitely there. So if you see a young Loso Wu-Tang it on your YouTube, send me the link because I want to see it. I thought I was popping, so that's that.
Who didn't think they were popping in 2000?
It was definitely like 2007, 2006.
Yeah, that's when YouTube first jumped out.
It was, and it took so long to upload a YouTube video.
Still takes a long time, but
it does if your YouTube video is long.
Yeah,
but it took. I thought I was doing it wrong, and that's why I stopped my YouTube career at that point because I'm like, I'm doing this wrong.
Be doing something else,
right? It's like, why do I have to sit here this long for the video to upload? But anyway, we're moving on to our topic of conversation. So this week we are talking about focusing on what you're selling. I wanted to talk about this topic because last episode we talked about target audience and narrowing down your target audience and figuring out, you know, who they are, what they do, their behaviors, and how you can talk to them. How do they talk? How do they want to be talked to? What do they need? What do they want? What do they desire? And supplying that. Yeah. And so I think the next natural transition after that is to talk about, okay, now that you know, and you know what you're selling, how do you have a strategy. How do you focus?
Mm-hmm.
And so one thing that I've seen is a lot of people come from maybe like Etsy to Shopify. Etsy is a platform that you can post, and it's kind of like a farmer's market
marketplace
online. And you can, and they take a portion and all those things. So the natural progression is for you to move to your own platform where people aren't taking as big of a portion
off the top.
Right, exactly. Because Etsy they put marketing into their site. They do all these other things. So when somebody comes to Etsy.com and they search in the thing and you come up, that is a benefit of their marketing. So there's just cost. So if you're coming over to Shopify, I've seen people who have Etsy stores that sell like thousands of different things. And I think when you're like coming out on your own outside of that Etsy umbrella or just any umbrella, I think it's a great idea to just focus and have a slim offering set. And this is similar to what we're talking about with target audiences. You can't market to everybody because it'd be impossible, right? But then it's hard to market all of your items. Like, it's hard to tell people all the things you have when you have like 30 SKUs in your thing, and they're all of like something different. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was like bringing down your SKUs. So if you have like 15 different things that you're selling, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I think that to start and to really like gain some ground, it's good to be known for a thing.
Yeah.
Or two or three. It could be like, okay, let's say you make cookies, right? It could be like you have 3 flavors of the same kind of soft chew cookie, and you let people pick what flavors that they like. And then from there, you can start to like build your marketing around the different versions of the cookies. And then you can experiment with different flavors and see who buys what. But you don't want to just start off like, I'm selling 15 flavors of cookies.
Yeah. Is that more sustainable to a budget, like a marketing budget and stuff like that?
It's more sustainable to a marketing budget, but it's also more sustainable to your pocket. Because the supplies that it takes for you, like let's say you have inventory, right? And you got to buy the inventory for these 15 things or these different cookies so that when somebody makes a purchase, you have it available.
Right.
I mean, the whole cookie thing is more like this. Maybe you're selling bad cookies at first, right? But then after a while, you get them manufactured. So having excess inventory is a liability. It's not an asset. Right. So the goal is to just have 1 or 2 or 3 types of something you start off and sell out.
Yeah.
And see what can't sell. Because I would hate for you to buy 100. I don't know, 100. I feel like it just doesn't work with my cookie analogy, but 100 of the supplies to have 100 red velvet cookies, and you sell 0.
Right.
Because then
you gotta eat them cookies.
Or you just don't make the cookies. Maybe you make the cookies for somebody else, but you just don't make no money on you making money. The purpose is to make money.
Right.
The purpose is not to sell 1,000 things, because then also people go in there like, so now so Insomnia can do it, right? Because Insomnia is a big enough company to do it. They got locations everywhere, so you can get cookies, you could get brownies, you could get ice cream, you could get milk. Those are all things that they added on over time. You can even get a cookie cake. But most businesses are not starting at Insomnia level.
Yeah.
They're not starting with Insomnia money. And I'm sure Insomnia only started with a few cookies. They were all kind of probably made the same way. And then they expanded as they went on, and they got popularity, and people started requesting the thing. That is the key, I feel like.
Yeah, I think for businesses, though, it's like when you start out small, I think it's better for your craft or whatever it is that you make. It's like perfect that thing, because then you become the number one to go to. It's like if you make, I guess I'm gonna stick on cookies, but if you make a mean white chocolate macadamia, and that's my favorite cookie. If you make a mean one of them, like you're the go-to for that, and it's like people will flood that market in Then when you hit them with something else, they're like, oh, I know these white macadamians is good. Let me try the chocolate chip.
Right. Because I had some of the chocolate chip last time. I wonder, I don't know about this, but now I'm thinking about cookies. I'm thinking about Tate's. Like, I wonder how they started. Because I think the thing that they got most popular was those thin chocolate chip cookies.
Who?
Tate's. I don't know. Have you ever had Tate's?
Never
cookies?
had Tate's.
I don't really like hard cookies, so they're not really my thing. But whenever people tell me about Tate's, they always go to the chocolate chip Tate's. I don't know if they sell any other ones. That's just my ignorance.
Yeah.
But, and then I'm sure after that, maybe Tate's have like a few other SKUs. But as they grow, they probably will have more things. But when you are trying to scale, it's impossible to scale with all these different SKUs and all these different things that you're trying to sell. Like Kevin said, I think it's important to just be an expert. Yep. The name of the game in small business is expertise.
Yep.
Generalists, I mean, if you got some clout, if you, like, I was watching Teen Mom and Amber was starting a new clothing line, right? And I'm just like, that kind of clothing line is going to get popularity.
Yeah, she's on TV.
Because she's on TV and she has fans.
Right.
So she don't have to do what everybody else has to do to kind of make it. Unless you got a TV show coming up or you're already out there and people know your name. Then people already have built trust with you. So they'll buy something that you sell, maybe.
Or if you got like a video that just went viral, it's like maybe that'll work for you too.
In your advantage.
Yeah.
Maybe. But like trust takes time. And so if you don't have those advantages, which I'm not mad at her for using her advantages. Like, use your advantages. That's how you win in life.
Right. You should do that.
Right. But if you don't have that, then you got to come completely different to what we see people doing on TV. Like, we can't do that and start a business. We got to be experts. And
I agree.
Don't feel bad about being an expert, because other people will notice your expertise. And even if your expertise isn't specific to them, they'll still be like, can you help me? Or do you have this? Or whatever, because they just see you being excellent.
And they just keep coming back.
Right. And word of mouth and all those things like play into part. So I think it's important when you are, after you've picked your target audience, after you've done all those things, to just focus on a few things that you want to launch with. A few key items.
And feature
them, market them, tell people how you can use them in conjunction with one another. All of those things I think are super helpful to getting like the ball rolling. If you give people too many options, too many choices, they're exhausted.
Yep.
And they're on to the next thing. You got to give them a few quick, especially if you're new, a few quick choices, and then let them think about it. And maybe they'll come back and maybe they'll buy or whatever. But if you have like,
what do they call that? Analysis paralysis?
Yeah. Also, too, when you give people too many pages to look at, now they go from using their subconscious brain to their conscious brain, and they're like, I don't need this. Most people make their buying decisions in their unconscious brain. If you make the process so long that now their conscious brain clicks in, the likelihood of them buying like drops by 70%, or some statistic like that.
That's the Keisha Jones effect. The story of Keisha Jones and what you want to eat. It's like, what do I want to eat? You got so many choices. You're never going to pick something. Yeah,
that, or you just realize you don't need it. You got something at home.
It's spaghetti in there.
It's spaghetti in there. That's a YouTube video we think is really funny. But all that to say, like, just keep it simple. Keep it cute, keep it small, and then grow. You don't have to be huge when you start. Yeah. It's actually preferable to be smaller when you start because it's just less risky.
Yep.
So I just wanted to share that on that minute. Also, brand extensions hurt your brand. So when you are trying to create another thing that seems related, and could be related, just create a completely separate thing.
Yeah.
Like, I I watch a lot of reality TV shows. So one of the shows that I watch is called Bell Collective. And the girl, I think her name is Latrice, has goddess length hair. She started a hair care line, and it's not called goddess length. It's called Essential Beauty.
Yeah, because it's different.
Because it's different, and it's different lanes, even though they're related. Even having hair or buying hair and taking care of hair, it seems related. It's two different businesses, so you have to treat them differently. So if you're thinking about like, oh well, I can start with multiple different versions of this thing, or just add on to this and add on to that. That stuff actually hurts a brand, because then you're not the expert.
You become a generalist.
You become the generalist, and people are like, well, I don't know which one is the better one.
How can you be the best at everything?
Right.
You can't.
Until you grow that base. Like Mael Organics, she came out with her original line of hair care products. As she grew, which this isn't a brand extension, this is just different kinds of hair care for clients that need different whatever. But as she grew, then she grew like, okay, now there's like this Hawaiian mango collection. Now there's this other collection. As she grew, it changed over time because of what her customers needed or what she could provide at that time, knowing what they needed. But that's not a brand extension.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you do skincare and now you want to, get into merch,
buying like, clothes and stuff.
That's a brand extension. Like, maybe give away the merch for free as marketing.
Yeah.
So people can get familiar with your logo. But you don't have to sell everything. Sometimes some stuff like works in your benefit. So I just wanted to give that tidbit. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think we nailed it on the head. I think the brand extension piece could have been a whole topic on this.
It could have. If you're interested in that being its own topic, let us know.
Yeah, look forward to season 2.
Right, it's season 2. I'm excited for season 2. So season 1 ends on our 5th episode, but we will be back for a season 2 because I enjoy making podcasts. It's hard, but I enjoy it. So now it's just cop story time.
we gotta clip that.
Why?
Clip it and then put it in a sound bite.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll do that.
Not cut it, clip it, so we save that clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm the editor here. I'm like, clip it. What? Okay. Well, do you want to go first, or should I go first?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Ladies first. Cool. Well, mine is not like anything tangible. Every week we don't have anything
spiritual.
tangible.
Get ready.
It's not spiritual. My Just Cop Story Time is about an app. It's just called Black and Mobile.
Hey.
It's a really dope. It's a really dope app started by 2 brothers. They're twins, and they're from the area. And what they do is they are like an Uber for Black-owned restaurants, so that they can have delivery services to people within I think it's a 6-mile radius.
Yeah, but they're expanding. So
yeah,
one day they're gonna take over the whole city.
They definitely are, but it's really cool to be able to support these brothers. And it's not support really, because they're doing exactly what they say they're going to do. And you have a wider selection of what you can choose, because at Uber Eats and stuff like that, it's a lot of the white restaurants and the people who own them and all that stuff. With Black and Mobile, it is for Black-owned restaurants. So you go on there, you can support the Black Mobile app, support the delivery driver.
Yep.
And so we're just circulating our dollar here, which is what we're all about. And so I think it's a really, really dope app. It's in quite a few cities, maybe like 7 at the moment.
Philly, Detroit, Atlanta,
I think Houston, they expanded.
See, that's new.
So check it out, download it. I know that they have, and the other thing is that they're constantly redoing the app and making it better and all those things. So
because they're growing at a rapid rate.
Right. What the app looked like when we first started, it has gotten better and better. And just know from people who work in that industry, it's not easy to put out an app like that. Well, depending on how you do it, how you build it, it can get really expensive. So you sometimes got to start out with an MVP, something that people can use. It might not be the prettiest thing around, but it's usable. And then grow and develop it as you grow.
Yeah.
That's what we did with our website, which we just launched today.
Yeah, cop that. Go check that out.
I was going to say, cop it. Go check it out at www.july5design.com. 5 spelled out Five. And check it out. But this was for Black and Mobile. It's a really great app. Use it. That's my story.
Shout out to them brothers.
Yes.
My just cop story is I just copped Bombed Aesthetics aromatherapy body oil. I don't know if you can see that logo.
Probably not.
That label. This is for people that, take care of themselves. You can put this on your skin right after you get out of the shower. This is lavender calming. That's my favorite scent. Whatever, she just whispered. She trying to act like she put me on to this, but I found this.
I put them with the lavender.
Yeah. She created lavender, and it's relaxing. The label's cool. It tells you everything that's on it. Aloe leaf oil, jojoba. Is that how you say that? You did put me on to that. I was calling it jojoba oil. Safflower oil sweet, almond oil, and a fragrance blend. And so on the label, it gives you the ingredients, tells you how to use it. So shout out to Bombed Aesthetics. Check them out at lovebombed, BOMBD.com, and get you some.
All right, well, that's all that we have for episode 4.
Another episode
of Just Cop. It was fun.
Hopefully you can get another listener each episode. We just add one listener.
Yeah, I mean,
put your friends on. If you enjoy this, share this to somebody.
Well, goodbye, farewell to you, my friends.
To you, my friends.
Goodbye for now. Until we meet again.
Later.